I tell a man's not hot. I tell a man's not hot. The girl tell me, take off your jacket. I said, babes, man's not hot.
Man's not hot.
Never hot.
All right. All right. What are we? The little things.
The little things.
Things.
Where the little things are.
It's the little things, Jimmy.
Where the wild things are. Hey, still showing in theaters.
Yeah, I just saw that too.
Look at that.
So,
Remember when Reddit saved AMC from going bankrupt?
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Dude, I read today actually.
I was here when we talked about that the first time.
AMC recovered $600 million in debt.
Really?
Because of that.
Because of that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now listen.
That's pretty.
They're probably still in the hole.
Oh, for sure.
But
yeah.
$600 million all because people started buying their stocks as a joke, essentially.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
As a middle finger.
As a middle finger
to the man.
To big stock.
To the big boys. The big guns.
That's crazy. But also, I love it. Long live AMC.
Oh, yeah.
Long live movie theaters.
Long live AMC. AMC be with you. And also with you. Wait, sorry, they don't say that. They say AMC be with you and with your spirit.
Every time you go into the movie theater.
You get to the AMC, you just get on your knees. AMC be with you. And a voice just calls back.
Okay.
And with your spirit, you may now enter.
Okay, this has gone far enough. That was good, dude. That was a good one.
All right.
I haven't had a good.
Be an interesting intro.
I haven't had a good chuckle like that in a while.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Whew. So
the little things.
We watched this. Let's see. It came out January 29th. So we watched it.
We probably watched it on the 30th.
Yeah, like 5 or 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Written and directed by John Lee Hancock, who he actually wrote this like in the 90s, I think.
Yeah, I heard that.
It's also set in the 90s, but yeah, he wrote the screenplay and then ended up doing something else, or ended up picking up other projects and directing other stuff, and he just didn't end up getting around to this until a couple years ago, and then he rewrote a treatment of his old screenplay, and this is the movie we got. The movie itself feels very much like a 90s thriller.
I think you were saying this to me. It's kind of strange that like movies set in the 90s are period pieces now.
Yeah.
And like you were watching this movie, and the way that the sets are built, the way that the costume design is, like you're just very obviously watching a movie set in the 90s. And that's like a strange thing.
In a completely different time than what we're in. I mean, dude, 1991 was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy talk, Dom.
It's quite a bit different from anything John Lee Hancock has done.
Yes.
But following up, or this movie following up The Highwaymen kind of feels like he's like, this is kind of the tone that he's going with now. Like that's just his thing. Because before that he did The Blind Side. He did
The Rookie.
Saving Mr. Banks. Like he nothing that he had done before, at least before The Highwaymen, was anything like this.
In a more like, just, I guess like, not dramatic, because I mean The Blind Side is kind of a drama. The Rookie's kind of a drama. Like,
sure.
It was like, but then he wrote Snow White and the Huntsman.
Mm-hmm.
He directed. Have you seen The Founder?
No, I
with
have not.
Michael Keaton. That's a really good movie.
I've heard good things about it.
But yeah, I mean, with this, like, he kind of like was in like a biopic drama kind of vein with like The Rookie, The Blind Side, Saving Mr. Banks, but now with The Founder even. But yeah, like with The Highwaymen is also kind of a biopic, but it's a little more of a, there's thriller elements.
The Highwaymen was kind of like a different take on the Bonnie and Clyde story.
Right. Like it's the other side of the coin. With
right.
The actual law officers who ended up, hunting them down.
Also, The Highwaymen, one of the better Netflix originals from the last couple years.
Definitely.
It was good.
Super underrated. I felt like it kind of flew under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, it really did.
I watched it with my dad. I remember really liking that one. But yeah, The Little Things is kind of continuing in this vein of movies with like that he's kind of getting into that have a little more of a thriller element, a little more crime noir elements even as well. I think overall it's definitely a well-made film. It's very well put together, well directed, a lot of good acting. It just lacks any sort of nuance to it. Like, it feels like it could have come out at any decade since the 90s.
Yes.
And it would have fit there fine. And normally that's not a huge criticism, but I think for this movie it kind of is, because it just doesn't feel like it has any place.
Well, and it's like it's like you kind of said, it felt like any, inner city crime drama. It was just what you would expect from that type of movie.
No huge, like, there's no huge twists, or there's just nothing in the movie. I mean, it's super well acted. It's very well directed. The writing is good, but there's nothing that kind of stands out within the story, within how the plot kind of plays out, within what the characters do, that feels like in any way like nuanced or unique or. I mean,
even in the way that it establishes, the antagonist. Yeah. It's kind of always just assumed that he is, because it sort of is a murder mystery, but not really, because you know who the antagonist is the entire time. But it's always just assumed that it's him. It's assumed that these, the antagonist and the protagonist are going to go back and forth until however it resolves. There's no, I mean, you said it best. There's really no true nuance to how the story is told. You had mentioned, and you said this every time.
One day we'll have a studio.
And he'll be there.
Yeah. We can shut the door.
We'll have a studio for him to drink water in instead of an apartment. Could you imagine living in a studio apartment? Like, where it's just one big room? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It'd be weird.
It would be.
Well, I wouldn't mind it, like, for living, but, like, you couldn't have people over.
I wouldn't mind it if I was, like...
I made chicken nuggets earlier. He's smelling.
Oh, really? Oh. I wouldn't mind it if I was, like, living, like, in downtown Springs above, like, a local shop or business.
Yeah.
Like, having a studio above. That would be pretty cool. Like, that would be... But, yeah, I mean, it's basically impossible to do relatively anything outside of what you would do, by yourself, just living, like laundry. Like, you can't have people over.
You just
can't
live.
Host anything.
That's all you do.
I mean, that's all I do now, and
I'm living.
I live alone in a 2-bedroom apartment. So do you, actually.
I still let Leo's drinking distract me from the pod.
I don't know why you do that.
Every single time.
Excuse me, it happens all the time. So what were you?
Okay, this is while we were watching.
Oh yeah.
While we were watching, actually, you stopped and you said that the movie Seven had ruined the 90s crime thriller genre.
Right, the kind of neo-noir.
Because there is no way to live up to the expectations that Seven set.
Right.
And because of the influence that Seven had on the genre, it's kind of natural for every movie like The Little Things to try to pull some of those themes from Seven.
Right.
Try to use similar ideas to set up the story. and there's really not a way to do it as well. But maybe
Right.
you can kind of tell me a little more like what you were thinking when you said that.
Well, a lot of what I kind of a lot of the parallels I saw were kind of in like the first thing I noticed was like character introductions. Like we're just kind of thrown into this world, to Denzel Washington's world, and the setup is kind of completely void of this big like expository dump of information.
Mm-hmm.
We just kind of jump into the setting. Now, where Seven excels and where this movie didn't was Seven never establishes a true setting. There's no
Right.
They're not in a specific city. It's always raining. You never really know you'd almost never really know what time it is until the very end, when they're out in the daylight and there's no more rain,
Or
and it's not cloudy.
where each scene takes place in relation to the others.
Right. There's
As far as physical location.
you're always questioning in Seven. You're always questioning where you really are in relation, to other places you've been, other places you've seen. This movie, you're in California, you're in Los Angeles, where you are the whole time, but you're kind of thrown into this setting in these characters the same way you are in Seven. Now, obviously, in Seven, you meet both of the main characters almost immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. And a lot of the way the movie was shot felt a little influenced by Seven, just in kind of the way different scenes were lit up and how different characters kind of filled the screen. I felt a lot of and just in the story itself, kind of trying to catch a person who's killing all these women in a very specific way and having no discernible leads other than like a missing red, what is it, a beret? Like a missing red beret, or I don't know, there's like hair, I don't know, tiny little things like that where I felt like when I was watching it, I was like, I feel like I'm just kind of watching a retread of Seven, but with less uniqueness and just a little more kind of by the book thriller.
Well, and I think
and
that might be part of the issue, is that what Seven did was so unique.
It was so subversive and so against the norm of what a thriller was.
Right. And so now you watch something like The Little Things and you're like, I've seen this before.
Right.
It really, with this genre, it feels like, and until I'm proven wrong, which I could be, but it feels like there is like nothing new for this genre anymore. There's nowhere for it to go.
Right.
I thought that, I didn't, and it kind of ties into what we're already talking about. I didn't have an issue with the story. I didn't think it was a bad story.
No,
I didn't even think it was poorly executed.
Right.
But there was just nothing exceptional about it.
Right. It was executed well. And that's it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. But I had a point to make. I think, I do know. The only place that thrillers can really go now that movies like Seven, or I don't know, even crime thrillers like The Dark Knight, which isn't in any way similar to this, but it is a crime film, or The Departed, which is gangster films. This genre and all the subgenres it has they all have such established films and stories that have already been told that it feels like sometimes it feels like there's nowhere for the genre to go. The only place I think for it to go is to either take the conventions or the subversions that have already been explored and take them and do them to perfection. Do them so well that people are remarking, wow, I've seen this before, but it is done magnificently. This movie felt more like, I've seen this before and it's good. It was done well.
And now that we're kind of like hashing this out, I think part of the issue is that this is like I said, a period piece set in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Those past, crime thrillers set in the 90s were made in the 90s or made in the early 2000s.
Right.
They were at their best when they were present day for their time.
Right.
And I feel like this, again, not that it does it poorly, but going back to that time and making it a period piece almost works against it.
Right.
Just because of what we've already seen in the past from other films.
Yeah.
Dude.
What? Why does he keep wanting to go out?
I don't know.
Do I need to open the door again?
It's cold out there.
I know. I want to leave the door open. Do I need to
just try it?
pop? Okay. Talk about literally anything.
Talk about it. Well, let's start because I have some points. Let's start talking about the acting.
Dude, let me open the door.
You have to unlock it, guys.
It's chilly.
It's chilly out there. Dude, Denzel was brilliant as always. I thought that this was probably his best performance since, I don't know, 2012 when he did Flight. I really liked Flight.
Oh, dude.
I think this is probably his best since then. I mean, he did The Equalizer, or I guess both Equalizer movies. He did Magnificent Seven.
Magnificent Seven's a pretty sick movie.
He did.
Here's the thing, to note though, Denzel is good in everything.
Correct.
He makes bad movies better.
Right. And I'm not saying that he's had bad performances.
I know that. Yeah.
I'm just saying this is his best in a pretty long time.
Right.
And
definitely his most notable, I would say.
Yes. And
or because in Magnificent Seven, he's surrounded by multiple other great performances, and it's also a good movie. Like with this one, he has Rami Malek and Jared Leto, but it feels like Denzel's movie to kind of show off what he's got.
Because every movie is Denzel movie.
It's kind of true. If Denzel's it kind of becomes Denzel's movie. I mean, who are we kidding?
Part of it is based off of the run that he had in the mid to late 2000s. He was absolutely brilliant, and it's kind of been a while since we saw that classic Denzel performance, and this certainly was one.
It certainly felt like it,
and we even talked about how he, better than anybody, plays characters that are sort of damaged,
deeply flawed,
these characters
broken.
Exactly that are broken, that are kind of going through these internal crises.
Right.
He always
conveys it in unsaid ways. You can feel the grief and this insane pain that he feels just in his eyes. He always looks tired, but not in a I'm tired of making this movie. For whatever reason, he's just able to convey that through really minute facial expressions, kind of even in the way he walks and moves within a scene.
Yeah,
you get that sense of, this guy has seen a lot, has been through a lot, and has some things that he's not talking about to people.
Well, and he's also very good at playing characters where they might not say a lot, but when they do speak, everybody listens, and that's both the audience watching the film and the characters within the story.
Right.
He kind of just, when he's on the screen, he really just commands that kind of respect, and you have to, based off of his career and his body of work, you have to give him that respect while you're watching his performances.
Right.
Rami Malek was good.
Yeah. He felt a little interchangeable.
He almost, it almost seemed out of place for what his, specific skill set is. Not that it was bad, but it was, to me, not anything special.
It was almost like he didn't get to have kind of that free, like to me he's kind of a quirky actor. Like there are a lot of,
he needs high energy, and this was not that.
Right. It's like high energy that he conveys in a low energy like style.
Yeah.
Which I've always liked that about Rami Malek.
He kind of has a very specific style to the way that he acts, and I felt like this was kind of going against that, and I'm glad that he was branching out and trying something that wasn't necessarily what he's used to.
Right.
But I don't think that he was made for this role.
No,
by any means.
Not.
Jared Leto was kind of what he always is.
Yeah. He did it really well.
He was
sufficiently creepy.
He was sufficiently Jared Leto.
And unsettling.
Right.
For sure.
Again, it wasn't necessarily unique for him, but more so than Rami Malek's character, I think that this character did fit Jared Leto very well.
Oh yeah.
And he played it well.
He did. It just again, and I think this has to do with his character. Just there wasn't anything that that kind of made him pop off. If that makes sense.
I mean, his character, for as much as a serial killer can be, seemed like pretty shallow. They're just I mean, there wasn't much to him. He was exactly what we expected him to be.
Right.
Right. Which I feel like we're just in this theme of it was good.
Yeah.
Like
we're getting to the point with
ask me about anything other than Denzel and I'm just like, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was good. It was well done. So anyway,
but I thought that the chemistry on screen between those three was actually pretty good. They
really good.
They play well into each other's skill sets. They match each other's energy pretty well.
Right.
And that goes individually. That goes Denzel with Rami Malek. That goes Denzel with Jared Leto. That goes Rami Malek with Jared Leto. They all played very well together, which is important. And especially when you have roles like Rami Malek's character, like Jared Leto's, where it's not necessarily anything super unique. If the characters individually aren't necessarily going to stand out, it's important that their their chemistry does.
Yeah, for sure. I don't got anything else.
I don't have too much more to say.
I'm trying to think about anything that stood, but again, anytime I think about something, my thought is, yeah, it was all right. Yeah,
or
I liked it.
My thought is it's not 7.
It's not 7.
It kind of sucks, but
one thing I liked that I think you actually I think you had a little problems with was the music. I thought Thomas Newman's score was very well done. I do get, because you kind of said this music seems almost out of place.
Yeah,
here.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
It seemed like the score was trying to cover a couple different thematic styles, and it didn't really blend at times. But I thought each individual piece that was done was really well done. There's one of probably the more noticeable parts of the movie for me was the fact that I was actually listening to the score all right, I kind of dig this. But I still did get that sense of some of this seems
I don't think I didn't enjoy the score. I liked the score and I liked the musical choices. I didn't necessarily like how they fit in the film.
Right.
At times it felt like the score was trying to create emotions that the film itself was not able to. It was almost trying to pick up the slack for what they weren't able to show us or what they weren't able to tell us.
Right. what they weren't able to get across in other aspects.
Exactly. And
music should be something that complements what's being.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It shouldn't make up for shortcomings
right.
in the film.
It should boost kind of the already better, like the better aspects of the film.
Exactly. And
not necessarily
honestly,
better, but the other good aspects of the film. It should prop those
with
up.
With a movie like this, and it might just be personal preference. I think less is more when it comes to music and when it comes to the score. And it seemed like a few times they kind of just got a little bit carried away.
Right. They got a little
or
bit
it wasn't
extra.
or it wasn't matched up well as it could be. So it was more, not that it was bad, but it was kind of just jarring the way that it was all pieced together.
Yeah.
And I think that it could have been matched up to the film a bit better to where it wouldn't stand out so much.
Right.
And I'd rather, with a film like this, I'd rather not notice the music.
Yeah.
And not notice the score than notice it because I'm not real satisfied with it.
You feel kind of out of place.
Yes,
almost.
exactly.
Yeah. I get that. All right. Oh, thank God. All right, man. I think that's pretty much it for me. In conclusion,
you want to grade it, or do you have final thoughts on this?
Final thoughts. It was good.
It was good.
So grade wise, I'm thinking probably I'd go B minus, because I think if I start verging into C territory, that means it's a movie that's watchable, but it had there's more aspects I didn't enjoy than I did. And I think because overall I liked every part of it, it just wasn't.
It was good.
It was just a good, solid, well-constructed thriller, and I think for me that's a B minus. Yeah. Maybe you could convince me of a C plus if you pulled my leg, but I think B minus would be my.
I'm gonna go B minus too.
Wow, copycat much?
It was good.
Yeah. It was. It was
good.
Like, I don't know. It's hard to say anything about a movie where at the end you're like, yeah, I liked it.
But you know what? It is good.
It is. Yeah. I enjoyed it. And also, I'm just a huge Denzel fan. Like,
dude,
it's hard not to love watching a Denzel movie.
I've never watched a Denzel movie that I didn't enjoy.
Yeah, very true. Have you seen The Magnificent Seven?
Some of it.
I love that movie.
I don't have the same issue as you where you can't not finish a movie.
Oh, yeah.
I think I watched the first 40 minutes of it.
Okay. All right. Well,
guess what? I love Denzel though.
That hurts my brain.
Gotta love it.
Anyway,
bro, if you read through Denzel's filmography,
it's
incredible.
It's pretty intense. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Like there are very few people that have put together the career that he has.
The resume that he has.
It's insane.
It's pretty nuts. I mean, and he's done so many different types of movies too. I mean, if we go through his filmography here, if I can find it. Personal life. There we go. Oh, and on stage. Oh, right, because he did Fences on stage. I mean, dude, the movie, the first movie.
He also started in the 70s, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And he's still going strong.
The earliest Denzel movie I think I saw was Glory, Civil War movie.
Yep.
With Matthew Broderick. Very, very good movie. Mo Better Blues. He played Malcolm X in Malcolm X. Philadelphia. There's Joe Miller in Philadelphia. Courage Under Fire. The Siege. The Bone Collector. Remember the Titans. Training Day.
Dude. He did Remember the Titans, Training Day, and John Q in 3 consecutive years. That's crazy.
Oh, it's insane. Manchurian Candidate, Man on Fire, Deja Vu.
Deja Vu was good, dude. American Gangster. That's on my top 50. Spoiler alert.
Taking of Pelham 123. That's a good movie.
Taking of Pelham 123 is maybe his most underrated performance.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Unstoppable.
So
with Chris Pine.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Book of Eli. I love Book of Eli. Book of Eli is one that I could probably just watch over and over. Like, it's one of those movies I will never get sick of it.
Mm-hmm.
I could just throw it on in the background any given day.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Dude, the music in that movie
and
is something else.
And the cinematography, the colors.
The colors,
Dude, they have... I'm a sucker for like long shots,
right?
And they have a few like no-cut scenes that are just
also like
incredible.
Extra wide shots,
yes,
like the landscape shots in that movie are
that would be a fun one to actually do a breakdown of, like purely for the visuals,
just to break down every moment where we're like, oh my god,
yeah,
like. So that movie, the music is composed by Atticus Ross, who's part of his partner, he's part of 9 Inch Nails, and he does Trent Reznor. So those guys did Social Network.
Oh really?
They've done a bunch of good stuff. They won an Academy Award actually for the Social Network. I'm trying to see if he's got here we go, production. Nope, that's not it. 9 Inch Nails. Is this television? Here we go. Movies. So him and Trent Reznor have done The Social Network, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Gone Girl. Gone Girl score is amazing. Patriots Day, mid-90s, Bird Box, Soul. They did a Pixar movie, Soul, and then Mank. They work a lot. They like working with David Fincher a lot.
Okay.
But anyway, we're getting super, super sidetracked.
So this just became the Denzel episode.
Yeah. In conclusion, we have our grades. The Room, still the greatest movie ever made.
Even a month later.
Still coming at you from the 719.
Yeah, a month later.
A month later. Big things coming in March. You guys kind of already heard about it if you watched the WandaVision episode.
Dude, I forgot to point this out.
What?
This is now our 5th recording space that we're trying out.
Oh, yeah. Well, technically it's still our 3rd.
It's our third space, 5th location.
5th location within. No. Yeah, because
one of those things. Because we did your couch,
my couch,
your table.
Yep, my table.
My couch, your table.
Your table.
The office studio.
Office studio. I still like the office studio.
I do. That's a good look.
It is. It's a solid look.
I wish we didn't have to drive 20 minutes to get there.
You know the nice thing about this look, though, with the wall right here, is we can decorate the shit out of this wall with, like, movie posters and stuff.
And clocks.
I'd rather burn that, but okay.
That's kind of messed up, dude.
I'm messing. That is a nice clock. All right, guys. Well, we're going to get out of here because it's late, and
You're going to work. I'm going to bed.
I'm going to work soon.
That's crazy. So we can be found everywhere.
Literally everywhere, including Instagram.
The new Instagram page,
at
front underscore row media. Front Row Media, because we're hoping to do a whole lot more with this than just podcasts.
We're gonna rebrand
it's
a little bit.
It's already in the works.
Yeah.
Start getting our YouTube up and running, doing some more live commentary, watch-alongs. Maybe once we get into theaters, we'll figure out something for that too.
Yeah.
So getting our YouTube going, and that is Front Row Seats on YouTube.
Yep.
We are Front Row Podcast anywhere you watch.
Anywhere you listen
to podcasts.
Yep, we are a Front Row Podcast.
Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, if that's your thing. I know it's not.
If you want to look us up easy, just type in capital F, capital R, capital P, episode, and then a number. This should be number 21.
Yeah, and honestly, can't go wrong with any of them, in my opinion.
No, they're all pretty great.
If you want to look back at past episodes, we did a couple series. Front Row Frights, if you're into scary movies.
Front Row Frights is pretty sick.
Look, dude, that was
still the best episode we've published so far, though, has been The Devil All.
Oh, we didn't. Honestly, go watch The Devil All the Time.
Go watch.
You'll never hear our thoughts on it.
Yeah, you'll never, ever. We will never. We probably will eventually one of these days.
I don't want to. We can't recreate that.
No.
That was the best. episode
lightning in a bottle.
we have ever recorded.
In the moment it was. I think we've done better since.
And we scratched it.
We did.
The King was a good one.
The King
was a good episode.
That movie was so funny. Timothy, what's his name? Timothy Krispy Kreme.
Timothy Charlemagne.
The God.
Doesn't matter.
You know what?
Just find us on all those
find
things.
Us everywhere.
We're also on Facebook.
We're literally anywhere.
We're
anywhere you want to find us.
Well,
your grandma's coat closet. We're there. Probably not, but you never know.
You think any grandma's listening to this?
I sincerely think if a grandma was listening to this, we would be the most famous people of all time.
I do too. So no.
No, I don't. I do not think.
Speaking of subscribing, please do. Like, subscribe, comment. We want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
Now that we have social media, a whole lot easier to interact with us.
Yeah.
If you have ideas for videos you want us to do, movies you want us to review, thoughts on stuff we've already done.
Mm-hmm.
Really, also, it's a lot easier to share now. You can share our pictures.
Yeah.
You can share our posts.
Yep.
Share our links, whatever you want to do.
Oh, yeah.
We will be pretty active on those.
Yes, we will.
If you leave comments or reviews or anything anywhere else, we'll also try to make sure we respond. But tell your friends.
Tell your wife. Tell your kids. Hide your wife.
No.
I'll cut that out.
Yeah.
Beep. Beep.
Yeah, that wasn't good. I think that's the reason. It was bad karma. Why we had to take a break. Because that episode that we had to cut out like 6 straight minutes.
Because we were saying some stuff that we can't.
And you'll never hear it.
You'll might hear it one of these days.
Well, they shouldn't. Well,
probably not. Well, also, no, they won't.
But just go.
No, they won't because my computer was stolen and all that audio is gone.
Anyway, go check out FRP episode 18, the Warner Bros. / HBO Max announcement to find out what you'll never find out.
That's true. Yeah, dude.
Wait, what? Explain.
I'll tell you about it. Right now.
We're on camera right now.
Yeah, I know. We're going to go off. I'll tell you off. Here, take the headphones off.
Cut. What up, Leo? You were pretty good tonight.